A famous economist once asked me, what does riding a bicycle have to do with curing cancer? I'll get to that in a moment. I was a drifty liberal arts kid when my life changed. In rapid order, I lost my mother, my uncle, and my cousin to cancer in the 70s. After they passed, I sought to purge my pain by talking three friends of mine into a 400-mile hike on the Appalachian Trail, a 2,000-mile footpath from Maine to Georgia. That experience provided two very valuable lessons that I worked into my future. But first, the story of that trip. I had sold my friends looking to quit a job by saying that this was going to be fun and that being in the Maine woods in May, 110-mile wilderness where we could commune with nature, still ice out in that pre-climate change era, was going to be a soul-searching kind of thing. But for us, after the first beautiful day, we had 8 straight days of nonstop rain, turning it into a very serious survival situation. We each lost 15 pounds. We got lost on the trail. We didn't like each other very much. When we got out of there, remarkably, my friends wanted to quit. I did not, and I talked them out of it. And what that taught me was that I wasn't stronger than them. I wasn't tougher than them. But I'd done all the work. I told them it was going to be fun. It wasn't fun. So there was something about the commitment that made an impression on me. As we continued to hike over the next month, the other thing that made an impression on me was we would meet people who'd been in the woods for a day or two, and typically such people overpack. And they'd give us a stick of cheese, a bottle of wine, and my reaction to this random act of kindness was exaggerated. It was like, oh my God, isn't this the greatest person I've ever met? And this would kind of propel me down the line. Now, believe it or not, when I got off the trail, I thought about this quite a bit, about what was actually going on in this reciprocity. Soon after getting off the trail, I started in the late 70s biking 120 miles from my Newton home to Provincetown. Seemed like a nice idea, do it for the beer, whatever. But something started germinating in my head about creating a bike-a-thon. I really wasn't a Cape Cod kid. I was a Northern New England kid. And there seemed to be something here. And this was the germinating seeds for the Pan Mass Challenge. And I knew that I wanted to include these two elements that I experienced on the Appalachian Trail into what was to become the Pan Mass Challenge. So you have to remember, and I saw a few boomers stand up, that in 1980, there was no sports-a-thon industry. Fundraising was bingo, black tie, and direct mail. And the PMC began 10 years before Greg LeMond won the Tour de France, and over 20 years when Lance Armstrong and cycling caught America's sporting imagination. I was trying to create a ride, a thon, a community where people would raise money and be committed to the mission of funding cancer research. So, looking at this map, can you imagine 1980? A lot went wrong. This is what we gave people at the start. And that year, we rode the only time from Springfield to Provincetown, 220 miles. Everybody got lost. We ran out of food. The ferry didn't run. And I was symbolically but physically thrown into Provincetown Harbor as the alleged spiritual leader and the captain of a sinking ship. Well, on the bus ride home, and frankly, you can imagine, I had no thoughts of a future. I thought, oh my God, these people must hate me. But what I heard on that bus ride home was, next year, I can help with this. This weekend made me feel empowered. I felt like I was doing something good. And I heard it. That evening, I went home to my apartment that I was sharing with my girlfriend at the time, and I shared with her this sentiment of what I thought I was hearing. And I said to her, I think I can make this thing big. And she looked at me and she said, look, it was a nice weekend, but grow up and get a job. If you ever wondered whether negative reinforcement might actually propel someone like me forward, she did her part. We didn't last, but the event did. The next 17 years, I worked out of my dad's house as I built a culture of commitment to the mission. In 1980, the PMC was one route, 50 riders and volunteers, and we gave a check to the Jimmy Fund of the Dana-Farber for $10,200. 44 years later, last year there were 16 routes, 10,000 riders and volunteers, and a record gift of $72 million. This year, our 45th year, we anticipate crossing the $1 billion plateau of fundraising with yet another record donation. What is it about the PMC that it connects with riders, volunteers, sponsors, and donors? Firstly, obviously, cancer is ubiquitous. It's my story. It's likely a part of most of the people in the room. The PMC provides hope to the global cancer community. The PMC empowers all of its participants to adopt a role in the war on cancer. And it sets physical, financial, and spiritual goals. One of my favorite letters I received goes like this from a lady who'd done the PMC for the first time. And she wrote, quote, I've done the Boston Marathon, and now I've done the Pan Mass Challenge. They're both wonderful events, but the critical difference is this. Then the Boston Marathon, people line the road and they go, you can do it. But in the PMC, people line the road and they go, thank you for riding. And that is all the difference in the world, end quote. Additionally, the PMC passes through 100% of every fundraising dollar to Dana-Farber. We've studied that, and this motivates our people to be particularly aggressive, where the average person is raising more than twice our minimums. The PMC is a community committed to the mission. To make my point further, in 2020, due to COVID, we had to cancel both the ride and the fundraising commitment. And we still raised $50 million with a reimagined non-event. And we share the impact of our fundraising dollars with our constituency, as I now am with you. Did you know that in the last 5 years, Dana-Farber Cancer Institute investigators played a substantial role in developing more than half of all cancer drugs approved by the FDA, more than 100 right here in our own Boston backyard. So look, you're hearing from a lot of nonprofit leaders here today. It's terrific to have passion for your work. I mean, work is half of your waking life, and living a life that aligns with your values, it doesn't get better than that. You'll sleep better, and you'll start the workday motivated. In PMC world, we have a tagline, closer by the mile. There are no overnight cures or success stories. Every worthy idea claws and scratches before it glides and soars, but it's an adventure worth chasing. So what does riding a bike have to do with curing cancer? Everything. Thank you.